And we are live. Harita, give me one
Hi,
second.
Shika.
Yeah,
I once again.
I know. I'm just going to let the Facebook settle down before we start our live session. And all right. So, good morning, everybody, and good evening from wherever you're going to join. Um, I totally love you guys, but here is reached my 41st mother, 59 mothers more to go. So we are reaching there quickly, slowly, both at the same time. Um, Welcome, Harita. We have a beautiful mom with us, and she's very enthusiastic. I've seen her around a few times. I've met her in some events, and I totally love her spirit. And we are here to share and introduce her as one of the moms in the book. Welcome, Harita. Uh, just like introduce yourself. Let's tell people more about you because I always repeat the same sentence. The mother who lives the story tells the story the best. But right now, tell us all your journey till here and let's hear about that.
Thank you, Shika. It's so nice to see you again in a virtual meet. I've been only seeing you virtually though.
Yeah, I know.
And a good warm hello, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I am Harita. I am a professor and a youth architect. So, by youth architect, I mean I help the youth design their dream life for themselves. So, that is pretty much what I do. And who I am, a small introduction would be I can always call myself a globetrotter because I've been, I am a Marathi raised in Gujarat, born in Gujarat, and then I did my schooling in Africa. I went to study down under and then got married to Bengali. So now I'm settled in Kolkata, which is a city in the eastern part of India. So
Right.
the journey has been full of ups and downs, learning a lot of beautiful things, having a lot of experiences. And I think just like all the mothers around here, I am also still learning, still juggling, and still trying to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, yeah, all of us are doing that.
Absolutely.
So, so let just like you were explaining to me when I was speaking to you on the phone about your journey till here, from Australia. You moved here. Let's talk about that. Let's tell people a little about what the journey has been and what were you doing in Australia and how you came back to India, and then we'll talk to you about you being a mom.
Yeah, sure. Uh, that's a good thing to take me back into the past. So a decade ago, I was working in Australia. I had gone to do my masters. I completed my masters there, and then I had my permanent residency, and I was full time, professionally employed there. And I dreamt of living down under all my life. And as usual, love happens, and I fell in love. And the guy I fell in love with had a full-fledged business here in India. So he had a family business to run. And after a few years of dating and being together, we sort of understood that we were meant for each other. We really wanted to get married to each other. So that's when the decision came that I would move back because he would not be able to relocate with everything that he had. You know how we mothers are superb at sacrificing everything. So,
Yeah.
so yes, that's how I moved back to India with the purpose, the sole purpose of getting married to him. And that's when I relocated. Now, after relocating, it was an altogether different journey because I come from a nuclear family and I was very independent because you know how when you go by yourself and settle in a foreign country, things are very different from you than coming back over to India.
Right.
And again, I was married in a joint family, and we are also currently about 15, 16 members living in the same place. So that's where my learning experiences as a wife, as a partner, and as the daughter in law of the house began. I was pursuing some parts of his business along with him. And later on, in about 2 years, that's when I conceived. Now, I am not a very typically good mother. I wouldn't label myself someone like that, because when we first tried to, we thought of having a baby, that's when I was detected with thyroid. So the doctor told us, you should start conceiving, and probably in an year or two, you might see some light at the end of the tunnel. So I was like, okay, fine, let us at least start. And then we start, and the first month, and the baby is there. And I was literally taken aback by the fact that, oh, did I really conceive? And now what? So I know baby gives you good 9 months to prepare and everything, but you can say honestly, I wasn't very prepared for it. Like, how we first time moms, uh, the way your picturization of motherhood for me was always what I would see in a movie, where a mother would be putting a baby off to sleep and singing lullabies and having a merry time, something of that sort. And this was very different for me. Now, my son is now 6 years, but he was colic. And the first 2, 3 days, he was also in the ICUs because he did not cry and he had some difficulties breathing. So he was a very restless child, colic, and at the same time, uh, probably due to a lot of health complications, he would also keep crying because that's what babies do. And the first 2 years and 8 months were terrifying because I didn't know how to pacify this baby. And here I was trying to be the perfect mother, juggling and trying to do everything alone without anybody helping. And he would sleep, sort of wake up every 40 minutes. Uh,
I'm
I
I'm in the same thing right now with a 2-year-old. My
still get those chills,
my
thinking
younger
about
one
it.
still wakes up every 1 hour. It's been 2 years, but yeah, that's okay.
Oh my God. So I totally understand how you feel about it.
Mm.
And it took a little time for me to, when he turned about 2.5, that's when I was like, I need to take charge and I cannot go on like this forever, because this is just, both of us are just going down the drains. And that realization of picking myself up, because I had to pick my child up too,
Right.
that's when I started reworking on myself. Because, like they say, your child is a perfect reflection of what your emotional health is, the emotional health of your mother.
Yes.
So that's how my journey as a mom had begun way long back. But then that's when it started getting, oh, now I have to be the badass mom and take control of myself,
Right.
just so that my child uh, can be a better person or can have a better life.
Right. In fact, I was talking to you and you asked me a question saying that would it be okay to say, oh, I, was not okay with having this child around, and would people be okay with that fact that when I was not expecting this child to come in and I was not prepared, and I was just not thinking it's a very great thing to have a kid because I was struggling so much. And
Yes.
I'm a daughter of, I mentioned, I'm a daughter of a joint family.
Yes.
I belong to a family of 13, and I absolutely know being a daughter is totally different, but being a daughter-in-law is a totally different thing of being in a joint family. The responsibilities on daughter-in-laws, the expectations on daughter-in-laws is very high,
Right.
and you are basically living up expectations of many people, and the lack of space is there in a joint family, with nothing good or bad, it's just that's the way it is. I was just talking to my brother-in-law was here for Ganpati yesterday, and we were talking, and my sister-in-law asked me, so like in a joint family, like is there a like don't you like have spaces when you say I don't feel like doing anything and I can go and sit in a room. I'm like, that doesn't happen in a joint family. It doesn't happen. You do not shut your room and sit because there's so many people just wondering and talking and everything, and you don't want that spotlight on yourself. And it's not that you can just go sit in your room and just say, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. There's just too many of you. So for a
Yes,
daughter-in-law, it is a lot. And yes, your child is your child, but everybody's child is also your child. So you're expected to not be mother to your child, but you're expected to mother to be other kids as well. And
totally.
there's a lot of pressure because there are men, also not one man deciding, multiple men deciding a lot of things. You're head of the family in terms of in-laws who have ultimate, decision making. So I am a daughter of that joint family. So I totally understand that it is one to just go through that, one to leave your job and then coming into a joint family, and trying to just settle that and then suddenly being hit by a baby. You're right. And then
Okay.
that itself, and then we get into this whole thing, we don't want your help. Yeah, it's I want to raise them my way, and we just try to get into the whole thing. And that's where I think a little disconnect comes, because that ego kicks in, and then we say we don't want to take, see, she's not like. But I think that's where olden days people used to understand that, oh, we've had a baby, this baby belongs to everyone, and
Yes,
they hand it over easily. Unlike today's us moms, we will be like, no, we want to raise them our way, we want to do it our way. I don't think so. I agree for this, her method, his method, this method, that method. I need space. So that sort of stuff happens in a joint family. I've been in a joint family for 30
major
years.
issue there, Shikha, is how we, as mothers, don't want to ask for help.
Yeah,
I think this was a very big barrier for me too,
yeah,
and I'm sure a lot of mothers here would agree that we have an illusion of being perfect always. We always think, oh, let me do the perfect things for my baby, but we never think of the fact that let's do the perfect things for us first. Because when we do the perfect things for us, and if we are in the right state of mind, the baby is also going to be raised as a happy kid.
yeah. So
So
that's what
those
I'm afraid.
expectations,
Yeah,
yes, those
that,
sort of.
that's what I'm saying. That in a joint family, it's very tough to do that. That's exactly.
And I agree, a joint family is tough, but it's, to be very honest with you, it's pretty much what goes on between your ears.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not so much as how the situation and the environment is, but your perception of the situation.
Yeah,
Sometimes we already have our prejudices, and we already have so much of opinion about everybody that we do feel, oh, should I really say this?
yeah. It is.
it's
It is tough.
only it's only when you go about and say it that the first and the hardest step is taken, and then you're like, oh, okay, I did it, okay, I can do it again. And
Yeah.
it's okay, it's perfectly fine to question people in authority. It's just that you need to learn how to do it in a good way.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the.
what I'm saying. It's a the whole state is such that it is tough itself to first adjust
Yes,
there. And what I was coming on to you is that I'm a daughter of a joint family, as I keep saying to you.
yes.
When I got into a nuclear family and I was struggling with my children, I was dying for my joint family, because I was just like, if it was my family, this child would have been taken like that and would have been raised
Yes,
by so
taken
many
care of.
people, and I would have had a rest, and I would have said, oh my god, I can sleep. And somebody would have told me, how do you breastfeed, somebody would have told me this happens, that happens. And I'm not even sure I would have accepted it as a daughter-in-law or not, but I craved for. So what happens is that, like, so I was like, I have these friends coming in with the concept of our village into the book, because they became my village when I was in Bangalore, and all the three families had same age group children, but they were some kids, like if I had enough, I could leave my child to them and say, I'm just going for a walk, I'm just going for a drive, I'm just coming back. And at that time I missed the joint family part. And that's where I think when we get stuck into what you were saying between our heads, we also do not see the advantage that we have a village of 16 who can actually take it
Yes,
away, and we could actually withdraw and take care of ourselves, and then both can happen together. And
totally.
uh, that's something that I really missed, and I always wished, but I also question, would I be able to actually do it? Like, because I'm also very, I want this to be, my child to be like this, etc. So it's again, another shade of mother. And that's why I totally wanted you in, because for me, I know the joint family system. For you, you are in a joint family system. And then, the whole battle between the career, the joint family, the child, whatever, and then rising above it, and most people can't. Most women can't. Either they break away from the family, which sometimes is also very, very tough. So to sustain it and live it and grow, is what I absolutely admire about you, that you've lived it, you're sustaining it, you're growing with it. And joint families don't stay forever. So as long as they are, I think you should be. Because I also thought, oh, the joint family stays forever. But of course, I became 30. Everybody became 30. There was next generation of daughter-in-laws coming in, and things had to start moving forward into separate situations. So that's beautiful, and I totally. So, how did your relationship with the child develop post that?
Honestly, initially, like I told you, I was never comfortable with the fact that he was a colic baby and he would just keep crying. And I still remember, Shikha, whenever the clock, I used to dread 7:20 p.m. I used to be like, oh my God, it's going to be 7:20 p.m. And that's when he starts crying. And he would go on at least till I remember 5:45 in the morning. And this would be in cycles of 40 minutes. So, as a mom, everything was changing. My body had changed so much. I mean, beyond recognition, forget about getting time to do anything for yourself. I would go to the bathroom and really be scared. Okay, am I going to get enough time to be in the bathroom and also cater to him? So, the initial few months, I'll be very honest, I didn't feel that sort of being blessed or attached or good about the baby. It was only when he started reciprocating my feelings, like smiling or sort of giving me a hug. That's when those motherly feelings started developing, and when reality actually hit, that I had to pinch myself really hard to understand, okay, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be till you're going to do something about it.
Right,
And
absolutely.
like you said, with the perks of joint family, uh, I started looking at it something like, where you can, there are certain periods where you can request someone, oh, can I leave the baby with you for half an hour? He's well fed, he's well rested, and you can play with him. And I could just go and have a walk.
True.
So that's where slowly, I think after he became around 14 months, so that's when I started letting him a little loose and giving others responsibility for him, trusting people,
Yeah,
because I had to take care of myself as well.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. And very difficult to do a lot of times, because I'm telling you, you're struggling with your own settlement in a family. And um, so I totally understand it, and I relate to it, and I can sit with it and talk about it, with advantages and disadvantages of being in a family of, I was in a family of 13, you're in a family of 16. And uh, I am a daughter of a joint family. I don't know if I could be a daughter-in-law of a joint family. And not to say that the joint families are bad, as per, it's just a lot goes in there. But the
yeah,
honest part is, when you're on your own, that whole thing that you learn from a joint family of, patience and dealing with different situations and different people is very easy outwardly. When you go out and you're trying to deal with it, and people like, yeah, you just forgave somebody just like that. I was like, yeah, that's what you do. That's how you're raised. You just forgive and you just move forward, because that's how you have to do. You are in a system of 16, 13 people. What do? You just don't start sticking on to small things. You don't stick to small
absolutely.
little things. And then the ability to solve is very high, ability to rise is very high, because you fall and rise is like a common thing in joint family. And just because you've had a quarrel with somebody, like, people tell me, even if you're angry, within 5 minutes you resolve it and you're just doing it. I said I give this credit to the joint family of 30 years of mine, because there would be a quarrel, there would be some, something going against, because sometimes you're going against a force of 13. Like for me to become a photographer and not join the family business, I was going against the force of 13. So I had to answer all the 13 to say, why are you becoming a photographer and not being in the family business like other kids, right?
Not doing something professionally normal
Yeah,
way back then.
way back 20 years back. And
Wow.
but like for me, being questioned and all is easy because we've crossed that, being raised in a joint family, or you have crossed it. So when you step out, honestly, I'm just saying it, like people just respect you for solving situations very easily. And I'm like, that's like a second nature for us when you're in a joint family. Like that's what you do. So it's not a very great quality that you think that, oh my god, where she got this quality. But it is a quality that makes you survive in a joint family. It is a quality that a joint family teaches you. You know, and
Totally.
and
Necessity is the mother of all
oh,
inventions.
absolutely, absolutely. And I definitely miss being with so many people. And I have become a person who loves, you can see it, I'm getting 100 mothers together during COVID time. Not 10, not 12, 100 mothers, because that's the way I connect. I connect with masses, I connect with a lot of people. And that's what I've taken from my joint family.
The
So,
best thing about your project that really fascinated me was, and this is something I feel every society, not just Indians, of course we are very culturally diverse. I have also been married. I'm married to a Bengali family. It's from being western part of India to eastern. So the good thing and the best thing about your project is you're bringing women together.
yeah,
And however hard I might sound, or however rash I may sound, but in today's world, we women have been our biggest enemies. We are the ones who actually look down upon the other women. It's not so much about the men as much as women. And the good thing I love about your project is you are bringing about this fact of sisterhood together, which is very important. It's about women supporting women. And I think that is what the world needs right now.
yeah, it does. But honestly, to that fact, I must say that first I thought I was, I've been, because my mom was not there when I was young, since 6 years old. I've been raised by a beautiful father, and I've been raised by my uncles who totally loved me as a kid and pampered me to the, like my uncles were absolutely for me and pampered me, and I was always this favorite child of theirs. And then always had great guy friends, and I always had, and I reached a point where I thought that, you know what, I don't think so I can get along with women a lot, because I would be in college with a gang of 16 and with only two girls and 14 boys, and I would be hanging around with just boys, and photography and the career. And of course, in India, when I entered the world of photography, it was majorly men.
Men.
Women are now, there are a lot of women photographers now, but when I started 20 years back, there were mostly men in this industry. So I was all going, and I don't know when the shift happened. And in the last 10 years, probably, I have only, and I was very clear that I get along with men more than I get along with women. And in last 10 years, I don't know what has shifted, that the amount of women I've met, the amount of women who uplifted me, the amount of women who loved me, the amount of women who have cared for me, and the amount of women who are coming into this project loving me, showering so much love, that they are supporting it, coming in as a team, saying, Shikha, we are with you. I don't even know them. I know them virtually, some of them. I can't even tell you that this feminine energy was something, it seems, that has just multiplied for me as a person. So I have only found more women and more women uplifting more women and more women. And I think that's what is culminated, that I had to do this project to find these 100 women who are uplifting more women, and make women also believe that we can do it, we can uplift, we can stay together. And like you are in a good zone, like you've been recommended highly by a woman to say go ahead and interview Harita, and she has a great story. So I think that's again, what you say, it happens in our head. I was
And
very fixed that I only get along with men, and then suddenly now I'm totally, 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 totally supported by women. I think men have just like gone on the side for me, and I'm like, here's another amazing woman I've met. Here's another, maybe I would love to be like her. I would love to be like her. And I don't know how that shift happened. I don't know when that shift happened. I don't know which woman made me realize that no, I think you're also good with women around. And something happened. And I will, because you've picked up this, I will try and find out when that shift happened. And I found myself from a very men, boys, fathers, brothers being my soulmates and friends to now totally surrounded. Like I'm feeling, even like when I'm saying it, I'm feeling that I am surrounded and nurtured right now with so many women who are protecting me in this project also and saying, we're with you, let's go where you want to go. So I'm totally thankful to finding these women, and I hope that it changes for you as well, and you only find and you start seeing that, let me shift that idea, you will find. And the feminine energy is so much more divine, so much more nurturing, and when you enter that circle, you're just unstoppable. Because
yes,
the whole job of feminine energy is to pick you up and just take you like this and say, my child, come here, and this is what the world is, which probably world of men really are lacking in terms of, like, I've found beautiful men, but what I've found with feminine energy, I think that suddenly in this interview I'm realizing is what is happening. I have an image of being lifted by many women and helping me, that will make you reach there. And I think this book is going to be surrounded by that energy, women who are going to uplift many, many, many women ahead.
because
And
I think feminine energy is something very, very holistic.
it is,
Like it can really give you the power when you need it,
yeah,
and it can really put you at rest when you need to be nurtured and when you need to be looked after or taken care of. And like you say, the shift. In fact, I have very recently felt this in the last 5 years, maybe less than 5 years, only after my son was born, that two things. Probably when you start your career or when you are in your career, I think your career, because you're an entrepreneur, it helps you break a lot of barriers.
right,
And second is being a mom. I think being a mom teaches you everything. So you any which way break a lot of resistances
yes,
for yourself.
yes,
And that's the beauty of growing.
right.
I think that's what we all, or all your 100 moms would have experienced, to
Right.
actually break their own barriers.
Yeah. So I know you have a class after this on time, and I'm just checking the time. Yeah. So I think we just have 4 5 minutes more to
No
chat up
problem.
and wrap up. So you just like in the conversation just mentioned saying that my body had changed beyond
Recognition. Yes.
recognition,
Yes.
and you know what? You're not the only one. Like every mom says that. Every mom says that, feels that. If I don't want to say every, I think because I'm meeting so many shades of mothers now. But yeah, majority of moms feel that. And does that resistance come in front of a camera? Did you find yourself finding the chatter surrounding yourself when you found that your body has changed beyond recognition? Is such a such a long exaggerated thing that we mothers feel, oh my god, it's beyond recognition, we are like somebody else only altogether, like that's it, now this is it, that's how we put this on ourselves and saying, I know sometimes it's not so bad, and we just put it on ourselves as if it's beyond recognition, to the point that um, yes, we've put on weight, yes it is, but the whole belief that we'll be able to ever go back, look healthier, nicer, prettier, thinner, whatever. So did you feel yourself that resistance of showing up, the resistance during that time, finding yourself that I rather hide amongst the chatter and just stay a little behind? Did you find yourself there?
I have experienced this resistance very recently. Um, not so much when my child was born, because I always had this notion in mind that, okay, childbirth, and you will go back to what you were, which I actually went back to what I was. But in this process of juggling between my career, my baby, my home front, there was a time, like very recently in COVID, where I forgot to take care of myself. I was down with COVID. Before that, I was working from home. I wouldn't go exercise. I wouldn't do a thing. And in fact, till June,
Yeah.
I had stopped clicking pictures, and I was like, no, I look too fat. I'm never ever going to. I think this life would have been impossible. But like they say, it's more about just, being on the toes and going, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. I'm just doing it. That's it.
Yeah.
Because when we orient ourselves too much to the fact that what people are going to say,
Yeah.
they are anyway always going to have an opinion. Some might like you and some may not like you, but it was really a very big thing for me. And I think this is one major issue we all women deal with, because our body changes and because the hormones are jumping up and down. We are constantly fighting a war between our own self, our true image, our true self image, self esteem, and how we project outwards to the world.
Right.
But when you start feeling beautiful on the inside,
Right.
that's when you start growing beautiful on the outside.
Yeah, and that inner work is very important, and this whole project is about that. It's about doing that inner work to figure out, that let's show up, and
Sure.
the more you show up, the best part about it is that the more you show up, the light starts to enter. Like, even if you're sitting with a swollen eye with a cold right now, you still show up because you don't care, because what you do is
Yes.
much bigger than what your image is all about. And then, do you feel uplifted? Yes, I feel uplifted after my interviews. I feel I've showed up. I feel I've done something. But if we just keep getting this resistance onto us, and
Yeah.
this beautiful thing that is my life, which is called camera, which is bringing me together to so many people, and that's why I'm urging women and mothers to take a self portrait, because I don't want anybody behind the camera telling them, just move a little, just a little here, and this face here, and you look
Yeah.
better. I want her to discover herself with the camera. It is tough. Let me just tell this to everybody who's watching this interview or will watch later. Somehow we don't have the audience today. Generally, the audience is hopping in. Maybe it's Friday evening, but they will all join in later. But I must tell you that when I announced 100 days, 100 self portrait, 100 dream, I did not realize that women who are going to say yes to it are actually going to sit after the interview and say, "Oh, really? Now we need to take a story? Oh, really?" And I realized, my God, I've put all of them through this. 100 of them will go through this thing of beating the resistance and saying, "Get out of my way, and I want to do this story and put it in this book." They all are dealing with different kind of resistance. They're like, "We don't have time, we don't want to do, we don't know how to do it." It's a tough, and the self-portrait part is what I realized was a tough part for a lot of people. But some of them have done it. Some of them have done it like absolutely gone ahead, and this is a story, we've done it, and somebody people are really working at it. So I must apologize to all the 100 that I'm putting you through this thing, that you have to take your self-portrait, but self-portrait will take you on the other side. I know it for sure. It will bring you on the other side of dropping this forever. That you know it's not about self-image, it's about showing up, and the more you show up, the more shine comes, the more life enters, and the more we are aligned with what we need to do. So
Totally.
you're going to go through that as well. So I'm already warning you that you will have to bring your self-portrait out and your story out as well.
I'll
uh,
try my best.
there's no try, it's happening, it's going in the book.
Yeah, it definitely will. But
Yeah.
I would like to add one thing there to what you said is, it was very hard for me too, Shikha. And the way I broke the barrier for me was because I coach the youth. So they're mostly final year students or recent graduates. And what I thought was, these guys are so much with filters and so much so camera conscious about the angles. And I still remember the first time I broke my resistance was going in my group live without any makeup, without even combing my hair, and in my pajamas. And I was terrified. I was like, I don't know how people are going to take it. But that's when I vocalized it. Yeah, I am scared and I don't want to do this. But the reason I'm coming out in front of you on the camera without makeup and in my pajamas is because that's the kind of life I want for you. I want you to be true and raw to your own self first, because that's your starting point. And I think that should be the starting point for all of us as moms. We are
Yeah.
already doing enough. We just need to value ourselves a little more.
Oh, absolutely. We're very hard on ourselves. And that's why my program, there was a coaching program that I was launching before, but this book came in the middle. So I thought I'll finish the book and then launch that program. And it's called Selfies to Self Confidence. And I keep
Wow,
telling people that it's
that's a
not
catchy
about,
title.
yeah, it's not about selfies, because selfie is about one angle looking up in a smile. And for rest of your life, you just do it because you look nice in that angle.
Right.
And it's about bringing the self confidence and actually learning photography technically as well, to know how you look nice, and emotionally and mindset wise to be able to. So I'm doing this whole coaching program on that, which will be launched after this book is launched, so that I'm done with this book and then I can launch that program. But I want to tell people to start embracing their images, not through selfies, not through an angle, because sometimes actually even you don't even know the quality of the lens is making you look bad. Stop being hard on yourself just because you're in a particular. So you find the youth doing that. I saw it. I saw my teenage niece doing it, checking again and again. How do I look? Do I look nice? If I don't pout, if I don't do it, if I don't put my shoulder up, will I look nice? Will I be okay? Will I be fine? Will I be? I'm just like, my God, what have we done? And it has trickled
Yes.
down through us. It has trickled down through us without realizing that we have been so critical of ourselves, that we've raised children saying that, you know, I don't look nice, this is not okay, don't take my picture, I will not do it. We have told these kids that, it is not about memories, it's about an image. We have told these kids, and we should definitely take the responsibility as parents. Then we should stop doing this. We should stop criticizing our bodies. We should stop criticizing, because we are a superstar for our child. No matter what state we are in, we
Absolutely.
are their superstar, and we need to stop doing this. And we should not be even caught talking to our husbands quietly and saying, "Look at this. Before marriage, before children, we were so much like this, and look at us now. I was never like this, and now I look at me." So again and again, subconsciously, in energy, in the environment, everywhere else, we're just trying to put that, oh my God, why did I become a mother? Look at what's happened to me. And the image that goes is that you becoming a reason for a downfall physically, right? We're
Yes.
not beautiful because you came to our life. We were beautiful before this. And we need to stop this. We need to stop this, because this ripple effect is going down the drain. And that's what you see, because I have spoken to many mothers now, and they all agree either it trickled down from their mother to them, or they have seen their children not eating or becoming absolutely malnourished, very thin, because they've heard their mother saying we are fat, and they've grown up thinking fat is not good. So there's so much stuff that's happening. I have a mother who's saying that my child is sitting with a concealer in the Zoom because he sees me sitting in a Zoom with a makeup,
Wow.
and he says, even I have dark circles and I need to fix that as well before I sit in my class. So they are watching, they are seeing,
They do.
and we are passing, right?
Absolutely.
Stop passing this to our children, and this will only happen if the inner work is done. If we are in a book confidently and saying, see my picture in the book, my dear child, I open the book and see these hundreds mothers. Children will be opening the book one day and say, wow, you're one of the 100 mothers, your picture is there, and I remember you were making this picture and your story is there. And so for me, even if I reach these 100 mothers families and they can celebrate a picture and not an image and not looking like a portrait, because this is not a portrait book. I'm a portrait photographer. This is not a portrait book. This is not your photos coming and saying, am I looking nice? Am I not looking nice? These are your stories coming out. Even if you're not showing in the story, but the story is showing, that's good enough for the picture. If it's powerful enough to change somebody's mind, this is book of stories. Your picture would be there in the index at the end. Okay, Harita looks like this, Shikha looks like this, Emily looks like this. That's going to be there. but the story is the most important part here, and the celebration and the fact, the transformation, everything is very important in that. And like, this book page will transform somebody, because I'm bringing 100 shades of mothers. I'm
Absolutely.
sure there are thousands and million shades of mothers, but at least 100 will start the process that I'm also kind of a mother, and if I relate to you, I'm ready to help you in some way through this book. So let's just finish this thing, because you have a class to start. What is your dream, Harita? What's your dream? Let's manifest that through this interview and then in the book. What's your dream?
My dream, and the reason I call myself youth architect, is to help the youth break out from the rat race.
Right,
Basically, to be able to ignite their mindsets
right,
so that they develop life skills and not just technical skills.
right,
What we see commonly in the university graduates these days is they are so conscious of themselves.
right,
Number two, they are so much into, oh, I just need to get a job and establish myself, that
right,
they forget about the important things in life, like being in control of your life, working on your mindset, working on understanding what you're passionate about. Because I'm sure you'll agree, in India, it's so much about a mundane rat race that you're running.
it's everywhere in the world.
Everybody is like, oh, I need to crack the gate and I need to sit for the public exams. I need to do this, I need to do that. And why? Because I just want to make money.
And
But
it's
we do
everywhere.
not, yeah, we do not understand what we're passionate about because we've never given that a thought. And the social media has added more to all of this, more into a constant comparison.
Yeah.
So, as a professor, this thought had sort of ignited in me that why am I just sitting and blaming the system? Why not take the first step in faith to change the system or
Yeah.
to do something about it? So that is what I dream of, that the youth all over the world globally should be able to make those decisions for themselves without any regrets. And I think you're doing a beautiful job there, Shikha, bringing all that feminine energy together. And I think talking about it also makes me feel so happy and connected, though we haven't met in person. I think that is the power of moms.
Yes. And though when I started this, I was doing one interview a day, a week, and I was going slowly into it. And one fine day, I just got up and I said, it's not going to happen for 2 years, and this interview series can't go on for 2 years. These 100 moms need to get finished quickly, because this work needs to start. The starting will happen once the book is done, and we've got the story, we've beaten the resistance, we've made this book beautifully out, and then I think everything will become unstoppable through this book for many, many people. That assure that's assure, because I keep telling people, when I close my eyes and I'm like, do I see the book? Yes, I see the book. Like, it's tough.
Wonderful.
Like, even 41 mother, like 42, say 60 more to go, you know. I'm just you know and it's not a overwhelming feeling. I'm receiving so much, I'm containing so much, I'm absorbing so much, I'm meeting so many people, that I'm just like, sometimes I, like, on a joke side, I'm like, why did I say 100? Why was I not okay with 10? Like, did you have to really say 100? And I still have to do 60 more moms, and I'm really looking forward to meeting those 60 moms as well, and talking to them about their story. So let's see, and I'm absolutely pleasure to have you on board as one of the mothers. It was a pleasure talking to you. uh,
Absolutely.
and I will hand you over to your pillars, and your pillars will take you through how to get into this book. I'm always available for any questions, anything I can help you with. But the pillars did help me take this pressure off, to follow up, to answer the questions, to guide them where to see everything, so that everybody's guided and I can keep moving forward. So I'm absolutely thankful to my pillars, and I want to take all of their names. I have an editing team together as well. So my pillars are Debbie, Francis, Kirtana, Kavita, and Kavita, Kirtana, Devi, Francis, and Melanie are my 5 pillars. And I have an editing team together with Sumitra, Samantha, and Elizabeth. So they are going to help us with editing.
All moms.
All moms already in the book.
Super.
They're going to help me with the editing part of the story, and pillars are helping with everything. So it's a lovely thing. Soon we're going to have a 50 mom celebration. I did 25 mom celebration. I'm going to very soon. You're the 41st mother. Another 9 moms.
9 more to go.
Yeah, 9 more to go, and we will be celebrating our 50 moms reached. So half mark reached.
Wow.
Have a fantastic
That's a massive learning, and that's a massive, sort of you're rooting the thoughts so strongly and profoundly in yourself too.
Yes, I hope, I think if I can reach this thing, I'm already reaching. That's for all the coaches and moms keep saying, you're already developing. It's already started. It's not that you will hope you're reaching. Very soon you'll reach there.
Absolutely.
And then many things will unfold with this book. I have big plans with this book to reach places and uplift many people. But that plan will be revealed soon because I'm making it concrete so that I can actually reveal to the world what the plan of this book is and how I can make an impact to this book in the world. So
I wish you all the very best, Shikha.
Thank you so much, Harita. It's a pleasure having you on, and I think you have a class to go for.
Yes,
I shall see you soon. Lots of love. I'm going off live, and today somehow my dear, all the supporters somehow have not shown up, but they will show up. I know after they all show up with comments, and I'm waiting for it. I really feel supported when all of them start showing up and they're giving comments and etc.
totally.
But it's okay. We will see the replays, and they will show up with the replays, and we'll get to talk to them then. So thank you so much, Harita. And
thanks a lot. Thank you very much, Shikha, and wishing you all the very best. I know you're going to rock it.
Thank you so much. You're with me.
Thanks a lot for your time.
You're with me in the project, so we are going to rock it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are going to rock it.
Yes. So I'm going off live. Bye everyone.